Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go. Yeah. Everybody day boy. Every Thursday night, let me be specific. Yeah. You're gonna see a great show at 7 p.m. Pacific. Kimberly Eichelle will be on the mic, hosting talented people that she knows you like. Come on in, tell a friend, yep, you found your crew. Every Thursday at 7, make sure you come through. Talented Thursdays with Kimberly. Talented Thursdays, the place to be. Talented Thursdays, stay locked in right here every Thursday night. Talented Thursdays with Kimberly Eichelle. Whoa, whoa. Talented Thursdays with Kimberly Eichelle.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Talented Thursdays. You know, I'm your girl, Kimberly Eichelle, and so happy to see you all here tonight on another Thursday. And I know, there's like a live event that's pretty big going on tonight. So for those of you who are joining me, I am so happy to have you here again. You all know that I love bringing you great guests week after week. And this week is nothing different, okay? I have a great guest for you, and you are definitely in for a treat. So tell me what you've been up to. Today has been a busy day for me as I prepared for Talented Thursdays, but there seems to always be something that's last minute, right? So that happened to me today, believe it or not. I was like, what is going on? Running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to do things last minute, but we made it. I got that last minute phone call that was like, Kimberly, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. But sometimes, even in the midst of everything that's going on, we have to just breathe, right? Because everything is going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. So welcome in to all of you. You may be watching on Facebook or Instagram. You may be watching on YouTube. You may be listening in on the podcast, back to the replay. Remember that Talented Thursdays is on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, as well as Spotify, so you can get your weekly dose. If you're not here with me on Thursday, you can come on in, bring a friend, you know how I say, and have a good time. So again, you all, tonight is going to be very good. I have a special guest who is here with me tonight in the studio, and y'all, we're going international. How about that? Tonight is International Night, and I am super excited. So let me tell you about my guest. Remember, subscribe. Press subscribe and like and all that stuff. And here we go. I got to tell you about my guest tonight. Okay. So tonight's guest is proof that art has the power to inspire, heal, and connect us across cultures. Brett Ashby is an internationally acclaimed artist whose work has been exhibited in major cities around the world, including New York, London, Tokyo, Venice, and Miami, and more. His paintings, public art, films, and live performances have earned him international recognition, while his innovative style, even creating art on a skateboard, okay, has made him one of the most distinctive voices in contemporary art. Beyond the accolades, Brett is a storyteller, an author, a mentor, and a cancer survivor whose resilience continues to shape both his life and his work. His art invites us to see possibility where others see obstacles, reminding us that creativity is one of our greatest strengths. We can create together and make a beautiful world. So keep watching Talented Thursdays. Up next is none other than the internationally known Brett Ashby. You're watching Talented Thursdays.
I don't think they're ready for this.
You know what time it is?
It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got, the talent that we have. It's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write.
doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. Every foot alive. Talented Thursday with Kimberly Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go. And y'all know how we do. Let me hit a drum roll out there. Give it up for none other than Mr. Brett Ashby.
Yo, hi.
Yo,
Happy
hey, Brett.
evening, Talented Thursday. Thank you,
Thank
Kimberly.
you. Absolutely. Thank you. I'm so excited to have you here tonight and today for you because you are where?
Absolutely. It's just after my morning coffee in Melbourne,
Yes,
in
indeed. After you're
Australia.
in Australia. So it's Friday for you already, right?
Yeah, 26.
Yes, indeed. I love it. I love it. So, look, I'm excited because I'm international tonight, along with you, who is known all around the world for what you do. But before we dive in, I want you to rep your city. You're going to tell me what are the most beautiful things about Melbourne, Australia?
Well, Kimberly, you love to live in this city, the most livable city. It's been voted many times as a city with, they're calling it better coffee than in America. And
Ooh,
there's the city on the Yarra River as well. The river is running through the city. So it's very European and
yeah.
lots of art as well. So lots of art
Wow.
and cultural diversity, multicultural in Melbourne. So yeah, go Melbourne. And we've
Go
got a tram.
Melbourne.
We've got a tram as well. We've got the old City Circle tram running through the city. So there's a few
Nice.
things to come down under and see.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I got a surprise for you because I've been to your city. How about that?
Oh, perfect. So
Yes, I
that's you,
have.
you're bringing me in for another chat. It's perfect.
Yes, indeed. It was so beautiful. So, originally, or throughout my travels, I lived in the Pacific Northwest as well. So, when I went to Melbourne, I actually was with a choir from here in Las Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas now. And we did the Melbourne Jazz Festival some years back, and it
Very
was
popular.
beautiful. Yes, it is. We stayed at the Crown Plaza there, and
Yeah,
we got to
perfect.
do
South
like
Bank.
your yes, yes. So it was beautiful. We got to tour like your wineries, and I got to see the kangaroos and all of those things. So it was wonderful. You're in a beautiful place, but it reminded me a lot of Seattle, just the weather and the water, like you said. So a
Yeah.
very beautiful place.
People have said that, yeah, Seattle, and very different to Vegas. I've been to Vegas myself, so yeah,
Nice.
very different.
Yes, indeed. Very different, very beautiful. I tell you that. So let's dive into tonight's conversation. I want you to tell me about young Brett. What were some of the things you most enjoyed when growing up? And did you discover art early on in life?
Yeah, well, I was. My parents were in a building business and drawing and drafting houses, interior design. So I guess this creativity was in the home. But
Mm.
yeah, I always loved music, and as a primary school student, I was doing artworks and paintings.
Oh,
And when
wow.
I was young, I was drawing a lot of houses in
Hmm.
pencils and maybe say like. Uh, over a AO size artwork of big houses and architecture. And
Oh,
I ended
wow.
up exhibiting that in my primary school's front foyer when I was in grade 4. And
Oh,
I have some primary school teachers that still talk to me to this day that they were like, what's that artwork? And they're like, oh, that's just a boy from grade 4. But, it was something I must have been doing when I was young. Yeah, I
wow.
just was always creatively drawing, I think.
Yes. So you had your art displayed early on, right?
Yeah, framed drawing in the school. So I must have been famous in my little school.
That's right. Famous before you were famous again,
Whilst I
right?
was getting in trouble, Kimberly, as a little boy mucking around, I'd say, not in class,
Right.
doing my artwork.
Doing what you loved, right?
Yeah, yeah. It always made sense to me. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we have a comment. Lynn, Time of Change, is watching. She said, God made us to explore the world. Australia, I would love to visit. Yes, indeed. Such
Beautiful.
a beautiful place. Yes. Awesome. So we have to talk a little more about Australia because you're in Melbourne now, but you grew up in another small city, right?
Yeah, so I would have lived in more countryside Victoria. It would be 1 hour from the city. So I was never a city based when I was young. But when you're at school, you still go into the city for excursions. But yeah, more as the city has expanded now. It used to be farmland. Now there's houses everywhere where I grew up. So it was a small town called Berwick.
Wow, wow. Isn't it funny how the world just changes? Like we've seen so much in growing up. Like you said, it was a beautiful, countryside and things. And now houses everywhere. People have discovered that, it's a nice place. That's what's going on, right?
Well, yeah, like we're talking about, it's just a 1 hour drive out of the city. Now it's built up all the way to there. Now people
Oh my
going 3 hours
goodness.
out, and there's still 3 hour drive is getting a little bit of farmland. So many
Wow.
changes in 30, 40 years.
Yes, absolutely. So you've been a professional artist over 2 decades now. So I want to know, where did you train to start your career?
For sure. I started at RMIT University in Melbourne, and then I went and did my Masters of Fine Art in London at Queen's College at Westminster University. And that's when really the chaos and complexity of being a country boy and going abroad for the first time ever.
Hmm.
I did a collage of a photographic collage in that complexity in my own face self-portrait for my major project. And that type of photographic collage work soon inspired the next series of icons and portraits, which led me to this is around 2005, and then soon later led me to about 2009, where I toured America and did the photographic collage of Barack Obama. So
Hmm.
yeah, and that become a signature piece that was well collected and shown at Art Basel in Miami, and then I ended up touring the world nonstop for 15 years.
Wow. And that is a beautiful piece. I had to take a look at it because I saw that you did, an art piece of President Obama. And of course, he just opened this beautiful building here. I don't know if you saw, but recently in Chicago, he now has a, museum with all this land. When you did his art piece, I was looking at it and there were all types of different materials that looked as they were used there. So tell me some of the things that you put into his face. What type of
Yeah,
things?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I saw like a dollar bill or something as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's all, and I customized the dollar bill. I put Marilyn Monroe in the center of the bill, and I've had a lot of
Wow.
fun with all these things. But what it was is I traveled 26 states of the US across a longer period of time taking photography. So I first started as a mixed media artist, where I was always interested about documenting reality and then exploring photorealism and non-realism.
Hmm.
And in this artwork, I traveled all around those places and took my photography, and then I sliced them all out and started collaging them. And it was almost like during his inauguration period there with the Hope Obama and Shepard Fairey's work, we were in the same shows together. And I mean, I was trying to put the weight on one's shoulder, or the complexity of this major change that was coming, as Barack Obama was, I was believing was going to be the new president.
Yes, yes. And he was just that, the new president, So that is awesome. So
And I can never explain, like how this all happened, but it's been amazing. And I was working in television in Sydney, actually, in Australia,
mm,
and
right.
I did a documentary on a French painter, and she was about 93, 94 at the time, and I had a
Oh,
couple of
wow.
cup of tea with her, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go to America and do this. What do you think? And she said, you need to go and paint Barack Obama. So I got on the next
Wow.
flight.
Yes, yes, indeed.
It
It's
was
something about
beautiful.
our elders, right? They give us all this wisdom, and she's like, "Yes, go." So that's
She goes, I
beautiful.
think that's a really great idea. So yeah, and that's what I did. So it was I linked up with some amazing contemporary artists in LA and New York, and
Mhm.
um, shared the posters and the studies I'd done to work on the artwork, and the
Wow.
American culture sort of also accepted me and give me a tour around and motivated me to finish the artwork. So yeah, fantastic
Absolutely.
story. Yeah,
Yes, it is. And fantastic art. I also saw that you did a piece for Princess Diana. What did that piece mean to
sure.
you?
Yeah, so I mean, I was living in England, and I also met her chef.
Oh, wow.
So I was in quite close company with what was happening, and then I, I was living in England, and then I wanted to do her soon after the accident.
Mhm.
And she was such a big iconic symbol, and so well received across Australia. As a child growing up, I was, always seen her in the newspaper, and I always thought, I mean, I really loved the work she was doing for charity and helping communities across, Asia and Africa. And
Right.
yeah, I guess I just felt like that was an important collage for me to do. And then it was collected by the brother.
Oh, wow. Wow. How beautiful is that, to be able to create something and then share it, and someone's like, "I have to have that," That's coming from your
Yeah.
mind, your hard work, your hands, and for someone to
And
really appreciate.
I walk around every single photograph. I walk around and took all those photos that I collage. So there is something really, I'm not sure what I was in search for, and I was still
Yeah.
figuring it all out. But yeah, I was, there is a thing in Australia that the indigenous traditional people call it walkabout. And in some ways
Mm.
I did. I started walking around the world and taking photographs. And that was something I did for a long time. And I still have many works I probably have never started, but I have thousands upon thousands of photography that I'm always looking to keep collaging and finishing new works.
Yeah. That gives me chills because it's like I'm walking around and I'm taking these pictures, and somehow I'm going to connect these pictures at some point to make something that's collective. You're taking pictures from
Yeah.
this place and that place and bringing it together to create a whole face, So how
What I
awesome
was
is that?
thinking, Kimberly, I used to think, I've got this image, but this image will never occur again ever. And in time, I can put that together and make sense of it. And
Yeah.
I did a lot of icons like a London bus. I did a New York cab. I did a lot of moving icons like this, and I some of them incorporated the street art battles that were occurring in alleyways. And
Hmm.
I really liked the sense that I was there in the moment photographing this street art and the battles of culture within one space. And then I'd collage that into the icon that people come to the city to look at, like to travel in, the tram, the bus, and the yeah. So those works were really highly collected. And again, as soon as one aerosol artist puts his mark up, there's another guy tagging over that. But I
Yeah.
felt like I was documenting something that, they were dated 2010. And now that kind of hyper reality animated iconic work that I was doing, it kind of looks like AI, which is now 20 years now, present day,
Right.
but me and the crew of street artists who were doing this stuff in 2010. So yeah, it's really lovely to observe it now and just sit back.
Absolutely. So definitely a visionary. Like you said, something that you were doing so long ago, it's mirrored today, but you were doing this not as a machine as AI is, with all the
Yeah.
digital things that go on, but you all were really walking. You were really using your hands to create and do these things. So it's awesome, that you were able to create this type of art.
And yeah, it's built upon the theory and the facilitators, practitioners before us as well. Because when you study, there's guys before us that were talking about hyper reality, nanotechnology. There was
Mm,
millions of theorists that are philosophizing this, and we were writing essays and studying it. And then we were out trying to make things we'd never seen before, and that's what I
yeah.
always do. I'm trying to make something that I can visualize, see in my mind, and then soon after it becomes real. And then it takes 10 to 15 years for the normal population to kind of catch up to that reality.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone else about how digital art wasn't being collected much for a long time because people couldn't put their finger on the fact that we could just keep printing this though, Brett. And I said, well, you can't print the copy that I've printed in my edition and my stamp. But I
Mhm.
said this is contemporary and this is where the world's going. So you need to be part of it.
Wow. Wow. That is so interesting. I can tell that you have studied your craft, but also that you love what you do, and that's what makes a difference in anything that we do. When you love it, you put your heart and your soul into it, So when people are getting a piece of your art, they're really getting a small piece of bread too, So look at you
Yeah, yeah.
going all
And
around the world.
the journey, the ups and downs, the struggles for sure. Yeah, you're not.
Mhm.
It's all in there. And the best thing anyone listening on the Thursdays today, like it's that how did you get to that final artwork? It's not what the artwork is. It's how did that artist achieve that, exhibit that, and bubble wrap that artwork. That journey to get
Yes,
to that final piece is a lot involved.
exactly. So let me ask this question. For those who desire to begin enjoying other artistic mediums, such as the work that you do, is there a way to do so? How does art speak to people? So some people, you see them at a gallery and their heads are turned to the side. They're trying to see, okay, what do I see in here? So what do you say is the best way for someone who's new to that type of artistic expression? How should they embrace that thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, you just have to show up is the first part and be open to the fact that everything that you have perceived to that moment and of you standing in front of something, you need to be open to the fact that the painter may not have had any life experiences or journey thus far that you've had. So
Mhm.
how would you look at something and be open to the fact that this could be created from a whole other subconscious thought process, um, consciousness, the medium of it, how it's been painted, the size of it, what is the material used,
Wow.
and what is all the different techniques applied to that canvas. I have a lovely collector who collects circle canvas artworks of mine. And the
Mm.
way that I painted this artwork was I'd go surfing every Sunday and I'd drive a trailer, tow a trailer, and I'd have this circular canvas in the back and I'd prepare my paints all in the top of the trailer. So the painting started painting itself as I drove down the freeway to go to the ocean.
Wow.
So this is the way that I painted her artworks in motion, and the
Yes.
collector really loved that. So what I'm explaining to someone, when you see that in an art gallery, you would never conceptualize that that's how that was painted.
Never. In a million years, never,
But that's
right?
these are my ideas. What does it mean to roll? And when we roll through life in flow state, and you have full trust that's your painting studio, then that canvas is being painted in motion whilst you're driving down to the ocean, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. What a concept. Oh my goodness. So, is there a piece of art, an artist or a creative experience that changed the way that you live or see the world? And how has that shown up in your own work? So, is there a piece of art that spoke to you that kind of changed you?
So yeah, I did. I mean, I usually look at my own artworks, I guess, to answer that sort of question. I did a 3-panel, 7-meter canvas, 3 panels though, so 2.5 meters each, and that was
Hmm.
called Understanding Life and Death, and that was a painting of a blue whale and the internal skeleton of the blue whale. You might see it on my homepage of the website if anyone would like to see that. And I've exhibited that at Times Square on the American Eagle billboard, the 32-story
Wow.
high billboard, during COVID as a Scope New York kind of challenge against the art fair. We took the
Hmm.
art to the street, and that artwork was painted while surfing on sacred Aboriginal country in Australia. So I exhibited my art easel in the ocean, and I had painted the skeleton on in my studio in the black background, and then I
Right.
allowed the water to allow me to ride the surfboard past it as I made the marks with no thought. I just wanted to make chakra color marks, some
Right.
kind of are we healing the land? Are we providing healing? Is something else happening beyond the thoughts of the human? So that artwork was soon after I had survived cancer, and I was learning more about the internal um, chakras and different things within the human body. So it was probably the biggest painting that I've ever done, and I knew it had to be a film as well because I was in this Cube Arch fair, which was the
Mm.
largest external public art show ever, and I put my videos on those screens. If you see it in Times Square, and it all went to plan. And I mean, no one would ever think to do that, but that was me
Wow.
understanding life and death. So I really I loved every moment of it.
Yes, indeed. How beautiful is that? And to hear the explanation behind the art, because sometimes we can see the art, and enjoy it and appreciate it, but to hear the story like, hey, I was riding a wave when I did
Yeah,
this, like you said, when I sharpened that line or, added to that painting, and then for your art to end up on the big screens in New York City, like that's
I know.
huge.
It is amazing, and you would never. It was only because we get the call expression of interest to exhibit at that Cube Art Fair that it
Mm,
all just comes together and makes sense as the painter and the performer, and then that becomes a deadline. It's something to focus on, and when you focus, it soon manifests. And there's a lovely story, Kimberly. When I was studying in London, I had a beautiful friend who was a fashion designer, and we
mm.
were students, and we went to Times Square, and we got some takeout there, and we sat in one of those beach chairs in Times Square, and we said one day, just there, like, we should be on that billboard together. I was modeling denim jeans for her in her fashion
Right.
show. And then there's so many circles later, that's the same billboard that I was surfing on.
Oh
How
my
good's that?
goodness. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Oh my goodness. So how cool is that? Like you said, for it to come full circle, like dreaming one day that could happen for me, and all of a sudden it does. I
And it
always
does.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, often I'll say that God makes my dreams come true, and I love that because we're able to dream, something and have these ideas, but it starts as a dream. like once we put in the work towards what we see, and feel what our purpose is, we begin to see it shift and to touch lives everywhere. And that's what we're created to do. We're not created to be separate. We're not created to hate.
Absolutely.
We're
Yeah.
created to come together and touch each other's lives and produce beautiful things and bring harmony. So I just think that's cool. I think, that is pretty awesome. Good for you, Brett. Let me ask you a quick question. This isn't on my list, but since I'm talking about dreams and you're an artist, do you dream in color or black and white?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. No one's asked me, but no, I think it is black and white. The artworks,
Wow.
I'm
Yes.
seeing the artworks in black and white, and I think I hear words that tell me the colors.
Oh,
So
wow.
many artists in history have said they've got their notebook and they'll wake up in a deep sleep cycle and they'll make notes, and soon later they'll paint it. You got to paint these memories or these dreams before you lose focus of them. So
Right.
I've done that for my whole career, and but to answer your question, yeah, I see the final artworks in black and white, but I hear whispers that say, "Oh, that's a blue background. That's it's coloured in red."
Right.
So yeah, I do see them in
That
black
is
and white.
amazing. Yes, indeed. And I know what you mean, being a songwriter, I often wake up, and typically I'll grab my phone and I'm writing, lyrics from something that I've heard, during those like deep sleeps, and you do lose it. If you don't like write it down at that time or make some
Yeah.
type of note, when you wake up, you may have like a small portion of it, but you don't always remember it. And it's like, oh, I know I heard that full lyric in my mind.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
best to
It's
push forward and go ahead and write
the
it.
real magic. There's a real magic there, and you got to try and put it to canvas. Yeah.
Yes, capture it while you can, right? Yes, indeed. So you are a multidisciplinary artist, which means that you are an artist across several mediums. You've worked in sculpture, painting, video, and more. So, what drew you to multiple levels of creation versus just one focused area?
I just think it's a simple fact that I when I was studying, there was multimedia. It was emerging. Multimedia meaning there's print design, there's moving graphic design, there's it's film. It's just so I just knew from the first moment, if I'm going to keep up with this, I need to be having artwork that I can exhibit it on a billboard, I can exhibit it in the cinema. I need to
Right.
be able to perform this in a musical event, or I've just always connected those dots. So the recent works that I did was I sat the subject on the stage with me as I had the half pipe, and I'd skate live for an hour whilst I paint their portrait on canvas with a light show, background animation, and a live musician. So that becomes a painting, but it also becomes a film. It also is a ticketed theatre show. And I thought, well,
Yes.
isn't that lovely? That's a lovely thing. There's a lot of outcomes. I get a lot of content, and the subject will commission the art, but then I can exhibit the film across the short film circuit. I've got a lot of content, and it's something that I just love to do. I just think it's all encompassing.
Yes, it is. You say there are levels to this, right?
I
Wow.
got to keep up with the speed of reality, and I've always been interested in that. I don't want to be doing something that's been done forever. I want to do something that we haven't seen before.
Yes, yes, indeed. So we have to go back to some of the types of art that you do. We talked about you riding the waves and painting, which is, someone to think about that. They're like, how? So that's amazing. But I also want to say that you are on your skateboard sometimes when you're painting. So tell me how you discovered that you can paint while doing a kick turn. How did that all come about?
Yeah. Well, I skated a lot when I was young, and semi-professional skateboarder, and then I did some aerials, and I had a
Yes.
major crash, and I've injured myself, lost my front teeth, and I've injured my neck.
Oh
So
my
I
goodness.
I, I hung the skateboard for 11 years, and I was doing my art abroad, and then I come back for a commission in Melbourne on the Chapel Street. It's quite well known for fashion and food. And
Right.
John Olsen he's a painter. He opened a hotel there, and he commissioned me to do an artwork. So I said, well, if I'm going to paint this, I'm going to paint a canvas. I'm going to paint a big artwork for you, but I'm going to do it while I skateboard on the iconic vert ramp right next to this new place to live. So I called my
Wow.
childhood friend that I hadn't seen for 10 years, and I used to skate with him. And I said, look, I'm doing some art here. Like, come on down. It was the first time I'd skated in 11 years. And we put the easel in the middle of the skate ramp, and I dropped in and I skated up and around it, and I painted all art all over it. And in my mind, I called it movement, Brett's movement. And
Ooh, movement.
I said to John, like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to paint it here. What do you think? And he said, here's the money, here's the commission. You got to do that. And
Wow.
that's it. Then I started skating and painting for 5 years nonstop. Everybody
Oh
wanted
my
it.
goodness.
They were like,
Yes.
and like I'm saying, Kimberly, we didn't know what I was doing at that moment. We called it Brett's movement. But it was only a bit later on, when I started painting panel vans and vehicles while skating, that I started to ask the youth, what am I doing here? And they said, oh, you're just painting the movement of a skateboard. And I thought, well,
Oh,
that's really
wow.
awesome. That's really awesome. Like, so it
Yes.
was reflective. It was the students and the youth groups who saw something in me that helped me realize what I was doing there. And, they really connected to it, and they really gave me a lot of information.
Absolutely. So you have painted on so many different materials. You mentioned a vehicle. Is that correct? You said you painted on a vehicle?
Yeah, so that was for a sculpture show, Australia's largest sculpture show, Sculpture by the Sea. So I spent 2 weeks up on the top of the mountain looking over Bondi Beach with my half
Mm.
pipe and then a panel van, and I skateboarded every day and painted on 2-pack oil paint straight onto the car.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So
Wow.
cool.
Yes. So cool and so
So
unique.
freeing and modern. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
that panel van started to tour around Australia as different art shows as a movable sculpture.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome. It's like blowing my mind, right? Because I typically talk about music and songwriting instruments and things like that. So to hear this part of creativity and talent and such on this level is huge for me. I'm like, what? You did what, Brett? Like, okay, movement.
Yeah.
I love it. So this is so interesting to me, that you are putting so much of your body. I often say, as a singer, I do a lot of backgrounding as a singer, or used to do a lot of backgrounding. I don't sing as much anymore, but I would always say that singing involves so much of you. Your brain, your muscles, everything has to be moving at that time. You have to hit the note, you have to
Yeah.
hear what's going on around you, all of those things. And what I'm hearing is the same thing is going on with you when you're painting. You're using everything within you to get your artistry out.
Yeah. And like when I do a live performance, I'm skating for 1 hour non-stop, and I get the paint off the bench as I'm going. I change colors, I use the
Oh my
palettes. I'm not
gosh.
stopping. If I have a thought as well, then I'll fall off. So you've got to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
dissolve fear, steadfast focus, and foot free flow. And I want to bring in the music for you as well. So when I done this for 5-6 years, then I
Mhm.
started traveling with bands, and I was taking photos of the
Mm.
singers. And I was really interested in these subjects as they're the singers of the band. They're holding the microphone there in front of a huge audience, and they're
Right.
exchanging energy. So I started doing a series of paintings where I started painting the singers, and they were my subjects. So they would sit
Wow.
on the stage, and then I paint their portrait live. And that was me raising my vibration to perform in full frequency with my back to the audience, but receiving their energy and painting these portraits in the chakra colors. And it went from energy series, it was called frequency, and then the latest performance is in front of 500 seated theater shows is called Sonic Flight.
Wow, wow, wow. And I was going to talk to you about music because that's one thing that I noticed about your Instagram. And I want you to shout out your page and where people can follow you as well. But in looking at that, in some of the pictures that you posted or the art that you posted, you always have what seems to be the perfect song. So I'm like, okay, Brett must love music, because you're putting all of those things together. You have these beautiful, drummer, huh?
Drew up as a drummer, yeah.
There we go. I'm
We
like, you have to have
said that
it.
earlier. Yeah. As a
Yes.
child, I did drumming. Yeah, really loved drumming, and I feel like it comes through in my art. And it's that pendulum. So when you hear the natural wheels rolling
that
on the
beat.
half pipe, it's a beat and it's a pendulum, and the audience go into like a meditative state. And
Wow.
I've released 5 songs on Spotify, and I've been like ghostwriting some lyrics and getting some top line featured artists to sing the songs. But what I
Yes.
was doing with my music, it was so I could, with my films, when I turn my performances into short films, then I can use my own music. So that was always my idea, is to make some songs that I can produce and use my own music for films. But I think there's such a amazing connection with doing your art and then putting some music under it. Feels very
Yes.
spiritual, and I love the modern socials where you can add amazing artist musics to your art. It really pops a real deepness to it.
Yes,
And I'm
it
loving
does.
this modern world. It makes it more and more contemporary.
Yes, it does. Very, very true. I knew it was something about you and music. I caught on to that. So that's cool. You were a drummer and you love music. I want to talk about a time in your life that had to be kind of difficult. You are a cancer survivor. Diagnosis of cancer can be heartbreaking and overwhelming at times. So, what did that period of your life look like? And how were you able to navigate creating and creativity while also being focused on your health?
Absolutely, yeah. So my journey, I rose right up to the top. I'm not sure how much higher I could exhibit in terms of the art fairs. And
Hmm.
then I finished, had a lovely beach house on the waterfront where I was producing a lot of kind of dark and heavy artwork. So I finished a whole series of 30, and I put the
Wow.
screws in the back with the wires, and I bubble wrapped them, and I signed them all off. And I thought, look, like something's happening here. Like I've done this body of work, but it's quite heavy. And
Hmm.
then a couple of days later, I go down and see my general practitioner doctor, and he's like, yeah, you're in trouble, you've got cancer.
Oh,
And I
wow.
felt like I was living with cancer maybe 2-3 years prior. I didn't know. So I resided in a beach location and went plant-based diet and was healthy and fitness and running and swimming.
Right.
And in a way, he said, well, maybe you've done the right things here, and you're gonna get through this. But if you don't take action, you're only going to have 1 week to live. So
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, it was a printout that had that kind of statement on it, and it was a lot for me to navigate. And everyone in and around me was like, yeah, he's not going to make it type thing. So I was out
Wow.
of action. It would have been 4 or 5 years before I could do press ups. So there was a lot of external building having to be done in terms of I didn't do art during that time. I was really going inwards, reflecting on everything that I'd done and how much I had done external and what was I reaching for so long. Everything changed. But I would say to anyone, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I took on tasks like renovating. Like I sold my house and I got another place. I renovated it. So I was doing some construction. I was building things. I was getting rid of items that I had, making new space, bringing in new energy, meeting new people, removing all toxins from entering my body. So trying to, start again. And I really feel like I was given a new life.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow.
And
wow.
all of these big skateboarding events, once I met the musicians, I started finding my tribe. I started touring with them and I started doing the portraits, and I was skating nonstop, but I was building up my muscles again.
Yes, and I have to say you must have incredible balance, okay? To be able to hold the paintbrush and you're going back and forth and
I
to
never
be
even
able to
thought
do
about
that.
it. I never even thought about it. But I did a series where I painted the pro skateboarders, and some of them are from America, Steve Selber and Eddie Elgato. And
Wow.
I met Hawk and Steve Caballera and all in Bondi Beach at Bolarama,
Oh,
and
wow.
I ended up saying to these guys, I'm painting your portrait. And they said,
Yeah.
you're the first guy to paint my portrait, but the guy painting my portrait's riding a skateboard. And we were like, this is awesome.
Yes, indeed. Oh my
It
goodness.
was, but it allowed me to connect with these people that totally got it. Like the musicians totally get what I'm trying to paint. The
Yes.
skaters, they're fearless. That is the art. It's flow state. It's that meditation that you can't describe, where time bends or something occurs, and the only thing is the process, and love the process, and the artwork will be what it's meant to be. It will be
Yeah.
painted.
You are huge in the art world. You're talking about Tony Hawk and, all of these people that you've been able to meet because of doing what you love. Like those are the doors that opened for you. And I often say that God opens our doors. He opens doors that we desire to be open and that He wants open for us. And He closes those that need to close, which for you, like you said, it would be hard for someone unless they were in your shoes to comprehend what you said when you said that cancer was one of the best things that happened to you. But for you, it was a reset. And so some people would stay in that, oh my God, dark place. But at the same time, you were like, okay, there are some things that I need to do to turn my life around so I can live longer. And so look at you today. You are truly living the dream, what others can only dream of, visiting so many countries, visiting so many cities and things. It's really a blessing, Brett. So, how wonderful is that? You are also well, let me go back. In 2021, you were awarded Best Experimental Short Film in 37 countries. Did you know that about yourself? I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah, absolutely. I think
I'm like,
could be up.
whoa.
It's still showing. Like we did a social post the other day. It just was nominated again. So it's a short film called The One I Love. And I'll
Yes.
explain, Kimberly. I edited this. I did all the editing during COVID-19, and it was the first time in my life that I chose myself.
Mm. You're like, I chose me. I
Yeah.
chose me. Yes, indeed. So now you
And
are the
it's
20.
interesting. I can explain a little bit more about it. Like
Okay.
like the soundtrack to it is it's got Gregorian chant, and
Mm-hmm.
the story is narrated in Russian,
Oh,
and
wow.
we went to a Tokyo restaurant and I got a shamanic healer to do the drumming and the chant vocalist, and we projected my journey of skateboarding art on the 3 walls of these projected walls in the Tokyo restaurant, and we shot the short film in one take.
Oh
And
my
that's the one I
goodness.
love. Yeah.
In one
Very,
take.
very different. Very, very different. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is because you brought all of these worlds together, and in one take. First of all, that's huge. And all of these awards that you have won because you chose you. Because you chose
Yeah,
you.
I've never thought about it. Like, to me, I'm just doing my craft and my
Mhm.
practice,
Yes.
and whatever's occurring. I always just really love the idea that I can make something with this modern world, and I can have it being shown everywhere while I have a sleep. And that's
Yes.
it's available to you. It's limitless, and only if you embrace it, then it's available. So I thought, well, I can put in the hard work here and shoot it and color grade it and edit it and script it and then achieve the final piece. But then I can just share it ongoing forever, and it'll just, like a little entity, will just keep living and breathing through everybody. And when I
Yes.
have interviews in different countries, I'm just translating what they're asking me in their language, and I'm responding in my language. And I thought, well, wow, they've all watched that in
Right.
their landscape, and it's experimental art. And I hope someone sees something in it, and I hope it's sharing light and love to somebody out there. And it's been a really lovely thing.
Yes, indeed. And it has garnered you a nominee for the 2026 New York Independent Cinema Awards. So it is
Yeah,
still
yeah.
going, it is still breathing, it is still living. So kudos to you on that. I also want to say there are so many levels to you. It's like level upon level. But one thing that I saw is that you are also into mental health for men. And so for myself, I've had men reach out to me on several occasions to thank me for giving them a place to be heard. To hear uplifting stories. And you believe that men's mental health and creative expressions go hand in hand, from what I've read. Tell me your thoughts on the importance of making sure that men have a safe place of expression for their peace of mind. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, I'm always thinking. I've witnessed a lot of hardship with men around me, also substance addiction and
Mm,
self harm. So I build upon that, and something that I've never taken myself, and don't support at all. And I just think, what I can create without having any substances or toxins. To pollutants to my health, then
mhm.
I want to motivate everybody to go out there and shine that light, shine your expression, and it'll let go of all those thoughts. And there's a thing about, like, the 3 T's: the toxins, the traumas, and your thinking. Um,
Mm.
so I don't know. There's always more to learn, and if you get some advice and some help, and there will be many people around that you can be a guide and be a mentor, and further education, self development.
Mhm.
You can change. The change is very realistic.
Yes, indeed. Change is realistic and change is possible. Yes, indeed. Um, Let me see. I have a little fun part coming up for you where I want to do like a rapid fire question session, okay? So the first thing that comes to mind before we do that, my mom is watching. She's talking about you. She said an amazing life, so gifted and blessed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So let's see. Singers and actors often speak of butterflies before a performance. So, what does pre creative jitters look like for you? How do you push through that as well? So, like when I'm getting ready to sing, I feel like my stomach is like flutter, flutter. So, what does that feel like for you?
So I've been known to have like burning some sage in my
Okay.
in the studio van or in the vehicle prior to
Mm-hmm.
entering. Also, being alone.
Yes, you need some
Yeah,
alone time. Is it
yeah.
quiet alone time or is it like a certain song?
No, just no humans.
No,
Yeah, and then
no humans. I like that. You
yeah,
take time
yeah.
to yourself. Yes.
I just think then there's no butterflies. Yeah, but if you're around other company, it can you're getting their energy too, their anxieties. Yeah, because
Mm. So
I
you're
think
like, let
it's
me just
yeah.
chill out, right?
Well, just no humans. Yeah, simple.
Yes.
The quick
Yes,
rapid
indeed.
fire answers. No humans.
No humans. All righty, here we go. We're going rapid fire. What's one word your friends would use to describe you?
Quirky.
Quirky. Okay. If you could paint anywhere in the world tomorrow, where would it be?
I have wanted to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I love that. I hope to see you in Vegas. Okay, that's right. Pencil me in, Brett. What's the first song you'd put on to set the mood in your studio? So, if you wanted to paint some music tonight, maybe, what song do you think you'll put on?
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. Okay. So, what's one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
Um, Bushwalking.
Bushwalking. Okay. So, you go bushwalking. Tell me a little about that. Give us a little more about that, Brett.
Yeah, like I think all the answers are in nature. So
Mhm.
I do a lot of time walking through trees, and
Mhm.
I like being at a higher viewpoint, looking down on where you've hiked towards. So going up towards a waterfall and looking down through the forest, things like
Mhm.
that.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. If you could own one famous work of art, what would it be?
It would be a Roy Lichtenstein.
Oh, wow. In my head, I was thinking Mona Lisa. Roy Lit.
I couldn't say that because you had that one,
Uh-huh,
Kimberly. You had
uh-huh. It
that.
was
Yeah,
already
yeah.
here, right?
You took it. You took it.
Yes. What's one creative habit that you can't live without? What's one thing that you just have to do?
Um, I always leave my paintbrushes too long in the water.
Ah, that causes the wood to split a little, right?
Yeah, I get told off because they're expensive,
Uh-oh.
and I think I'm done, so I leave them all there after the show, and then
Right.
it's a bad habit, but it's a creative one but I'm like, no, they age, they're aging well.
Yes, yes. All righty. And this is the last one. You ready? All right. Fill in the blank. Art is
Magic.
Artist magic. Wow, wow. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, Brett. You have been a great guest. I have enjoyed you. You have taken me on a journey, just like your art. There has been multiple levels to the conversation tonight, and I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, it's Friday there, like we were saying in Melbourne, and you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here with me tonight and today. Look, we're on two different times, tonight and today. So thank you. I want to say thank you. Let everyone know where they can follow you and how they can support you.
Thank you so much, Talented Thursdays, Kimberly. Such an amazing host. And you can
Thank
see me
you.
at www.brettashby.com, and you can DM me on Instagram at Brett Ashby Artist. Keep rolling, guys. I love you. Have a good
Keep
one.
rolling. You all heard it here. Thank you all again for watching Talented Thursdays. We will see you again next week, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Special thanks again to our artist tonight, Brett Ashby, who is internationally known. He's at the top of his game, and he was here tonight on Talented Thursdays. Thanks so much, Brett. Anything else to say before we go? Are you ready to roll out?
But, most people say, "Did you skateboard here?" Well, maybe I
Right.
did.
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have fun.
Thanks so
Take
much.
care. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
you as well. We will see you all next week. And Brett, I'll see you soon when you come to Vegas. How about that?
Let's do that. Let's get a
Let's
half
do
pipe.
it.
Let's skate.
There we go.
Kimberly's
You'll have
going to
to teach
skate in
me.
Vegas with me.
Yes, I'll be holding your hand. You'll be pulling me on the skateboard. But I wore this colorful shirt tonight just for you. I said, I got to
I
put
could
on some
tell.
color for my artist. Yes,
Beautiful.
indeed.
Very
Thank you
expressive.
so much. Thank
Great
you.
colors.
Aw,
Have a
thank
lovely
you,
night.
Brett. You as
See you
well. Take
again.
care. Bye-bye. You all
Bye-bye.
have a great night. Bye. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Please support by subscribing to Talented Television on YouTube.